That sister on the Breakfast Club this morning. What's her name? Erica K. Williams. What's the sister who was on there with Charlamagne and Envy today? Very well-spoken sister. What's her name? I seen her. What's the sister's name, brothers and sisters? Eboni. Eboni K. Williams. Well-spoken sister. She made some great points, but dear Eboni, that's not what you was talking, sweetheart. That's not what you was talking. You was on some talented 10th bullshit, and you tried to take it back to the community this morning, sister. See, we can't talk out both sides of our mouth.
Hey, somebody tell me what talented 10th is. What is the talented 10th? What is the talented 10th? I did say I was going to try not to curse. I didn't say I was going to be successful at it, Sandy. I said I was going to try. Try. God ain't done with me yet. What is the talented 10th? What is the talented 10th? Somebody give me that. But he did. He said, listen, you made some great points. He said you made some great points. He said, but you moved the goalpost. Right now, I'm 100% in agreement with Dr. Umar Johnson. The conversation that she had on the Breakfast Club is completely different from the conversation that she was having with Ayanna Van Zandt. But once she got into that conversation, she was absolutely correct. So right now, I agree with the doctor.
Mouth. We can't talk out both sides of our mouth, sister. We can't talk out both sides of our mouth. I didn't disagree with much of what you said today, but that's not what you said the other day, sister.
He's 100% correct. That's not what she said the other day, which is completely different. Somebody said the talented 10th is the most successful black people to develop the community. So basically, it's a group of black people that's highly educated and successful. Okay, so he's saying that she's speaking like that. Well, what is she supposed to speak like? But right now, he's 100% correct. The conversation that she was having is completely different than the conversation that she had on the Breakfast Club. But once she hit the Breakfast Club, she was on fire. She was spitting that real. I got to give her credit.
You was talking down to working class blacks. You are a bourgeoisie. You are a bourgeoisie feminist. And I hope to God you wasn't engaged to no white man, because I thought somebody said you was engaged to a white man.
Now, this is where we wrong. This is where he's wrong. I did not see. And maybe I just need to go ahead and do the demonetized version and break it down on the Breakfast Club one of these days of the week or something like that. Separately from the Millionaire Morning Show. I did not see her break down or talk down on working class citizens. I see you, Spaces. I'm going to be reading your super chat shortly. I did not, just because she called people out on a BS does not mean that she is talking down. Maybe I'll do it on Rumble. Ooh, I can do it on Rumble. That's true. I didn't see her talking down on working class citizens. I did not say that. Just because she said, listen, if I say that black women is largely the most enrolled but make the least amount of money of all of the demographics that you can identify within the United States of America, that's not talking down on black women. It's the truth. Now, that does not also put all black women in that same conversation. But what it is it's identifying the issues within the community. Instead of leaning on the truth, a lot of times we lean on our feelings. Just because you feel a certain type of way, don't mean that I have to acknowledge how you feel. Fuck your feelings. And so he was right in that the conversation is completely different than the conversation that she was talking on with Ayanna Van Zandt. The other side of the equation is that it's not bourgeois. It's not bourgeois to say that these are the facts, these are the statistics, and we got to do better. Now he going into whether or not she was talking to a white man. This is the Umar that I like.
Eboni, I better not find out your ass was swimming in the milk. If I find out your ass was swimming in the milk, I'm going to lose a lot of respect for you, sister. Because what that tells me, if you were with a damn Neanderthal snow puppy, then you're telling me at the end of the day, you are trying to condemn black men to justify dating white.
Yo, hold on. I have never heard of a snow puppy. Is that the name that Dr. Umar Johnson give to white men? I know he called white women snow bunnies. Uh he called black women that wear wigs and stuff and that dress like white women, he called them snow sisters. I have never heard of a snow puppy. Ah, oh my God. Dr. Umar Johnson is the funniest dude on the internet unintentionally. He's not even trying and he's doing it successfully. I'm going to be reading super chat shortly. He called them snow. He said they were Neanderthal snow puppies. Hold on.
The milk. If I find out your ass was swimming in the milk, I'm going to lose a lot of respect for you, sister. Because what that tells me, if you were with a damn Neanderthal snow puppy,
oh, I can't wait to call somebody a Neanderthal snow puppy. I can't wait to call Umar Johnson. What if Umar Johnson and Charleston White was in the same room together? I would spend any amount of money to be able to get that popping. I'd spend any amount of money to be able to get Dr. Umar Johnson and Charleston White in the same room together.
then you're telling me at the end of the day, you are trying to condemn black men to justify dating white. If you are an interracial dater, if you are a bunny hopper, then what you are telling me is your whole diatribe, your whole rant against black men driving the bus was a justification so you can date a white man.
This is where Dr. Umar lost me. Think about it, y'all. Think about it. Pay attention to what's being communicated here. And this is a strategic move from people that would rather justify their argument instead of focus on what was actually said. Now, I'm going to rewind it because I caught something and y'all might not have caught it. All right, listen.
Your whole rant against black men driving the bus was...
That's not what she said. The question was asked to her, would you date a man that's driving a bus? Now, I disagreed with her sentiment. I disagreed with her demeanor. I disagreed with her perspective. I disagreed with her attitude. I agreed with her perspective and her stance when she was talking to DJ Envy. But the one word that was added in there, and this is what black people do on a regular basis, the question was never about a black. That word was not a part of the question from Ayanna Van Zandt. She said, would you date a bus driver? He's adding words. He's adding words in order to make it a black and white conversation with regard to relationships. And this is the thing that makes it disingenuous. You can't add words into a conversation because then it changes the entire narrative. If we're going to have a conversation, then you have to have it in truth first. You cannot add words into it because that is not what was communicated. Listen, if we're going to be objective, then we're going to have to be all the way objective. You can't change it into what it is that you want it to be because you feel a certain type of way. She never said or was asked anything about a black bus driver. Let's just be real. Let's be 100% real. She asked him, would you date a bus driver? He's doing the same thing that he's accusing her of doing in moving the goalpost. He identified it correctly in the very beginning of this conversation. He said, listen, you moved the goalpost, Eboni. That's not what you was saying when you was talking about Ayanna Van Zant. You went into a completely different conversation when you was talking to DJ Envy. Facts. Facts. That is 100% facts. It's two different conversations. She's passionate about black excellence. She made her point on that, whatever it was, whether you agree with it or disagree with it. Would you date a bus driver? That's a completely different conversation, whether you disagree with it or agree with it. When he, not she, combined the two, then it changes the dynamics of the conversation. You can't add how you feel into it. She did not talk down on black bus drivers. That is just a fact. And now, in order to justify his argument and then to get black people riled up, what they do is then they say, and you bet not be talking to a white man and this and that and this and that. And they start going into their personal life. They start going into their personal life. And then they say you use the fact that you possibly talking to a white man in order to talk down on black bus drivers. Come on, man. It's not fair. It's not fair because I don't like it when people do it to me. I don't like it when people do it to me, so I have to call it for exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. Now, here's the question that I got for you guys. And I ask you guys all the time. I ask you guys this all the time. Shout out to Cliff Williams and all of the super chats. I'm going to be reading it shortly. Can you be pro-black? And this is the thing that I see divide pro-blacks on this side and pro-blacks on white on this side. Can you be pro-black? Can you be pro-black and date white or date outside of your race? Can you be for the progression of a specific group of people and date outside your race? Here's another question. Let me throw another wrench in there. Can you be pro something without being of that? Can you be for the advancement of black people and not be black? I'll give you another example, right? Some of y'all saying yes, some of y'all saying no. Okay. Were the Freedom Riders pro-black? Because they were going through and suffering the same fate of other black people that were riding on that bus. See, y'all all divided in the chat right now. Some of y'all saying no, some of y'all saying yes. Okay, cool. Was the Freedom Riders that weren't black, were they pro-black? Oh, I might have to save this conversation. I might have to save this conversation for Friday. Were they for and pro the advancement of black people, even though they weren't black, and they were willing to suffer for it and die for it as a result of it? I see a lot more yeses in there now. I see a lot more yeses in there now. First, it was real divided. It was no's, yes, no's, yes. Now I see a lot more yeses in there now that we adding some more context. Okay. All right. I'm gonna ask that question for Friday. Thank y'all. I'm gonna continue. Let's continue.
It's a justification so you can date a white man. I hope that ain't the case. I hope that ain't. You spoke well today, my sister. You still didn't deal with collective work and responsibility, though. I still heard a lot of Eurocentric individualism. And I don't know where you've been getting your reports from, sweetheart, but we got 2 million Africans with college degrees unemployed. Because you was doing a whole lot of pushing college. Today. Like it's some form of upward mobility. I'm sorry, Sister Eboni K. Williams. College is not an opportunity for 21st century Africans.
It absolutely is. And see, this is where we disagree. He's 100% wrong. He is 120% wrong. It is a statistical fact that people with a bachelor's degree make well over $1 million in their lifetime more than people that only have a high school diploma. This is a fact. It is. You can go to ChatGPT. You can Google it. You can go and look in any whatever it is that you want to look at. I don't know who or what it is that he's looking at. I don't know what he's talking about, but it is a statistical fact that being educated puts you in a completely different conversation. Now, the context of the conversation, and this is the part that he don't want to talk about, is what is your degree in? Because it's not just about having a degree. Specifically, Patrick Bet David, we broke down his video where he was talking about what the difference is between people that are in certain cultures, especially the Indian culture that are over here in the United States of America, and why they thrive so much. They push them into STEM fields. Okay? They don't give them the option to go into basket weaving degrees. They don't give them the option to go into liberal arts and dance, and you got a degree in social work, and you spent $120,000 getting a master's degree, but you're only making $50,000 a year. The context matters, and when you start to study of other groups, you will find that that statement is not only false, but then you have to add the additional context in order to really mine out why a lot of people are still working at McDonald's, but they have a bachelor's degree. So you can't just look at it in a vacuum and say, okay, well, yeah, it's 2 million people that's not working right now. If you want to look at the data and you want to look at the statistics, it may be a bunch of people that are underemployed, but it's not a huge unemployment rate. And the jobs that you are available for or the jobs that you qualify for are then going to help determine what it is that you are successful at. But it is a fact. And you need to go to college in most instances, not all, you should go to college and specifically get a degree in a STEM field in order to continue to push your family up, because it is a great investment to invest in yourself that then generates the revenue that you are allowed to invest in. And then that's where you build that generational wealth at. Okay? Okay? So he's wrong on that, in my opinion.
College is not an opportunity for 21st century Africans. It's putting us into debt to the banks, my sister Eboni K. Williams. So where is your solution for collective group economics? I didn't hear none of that. All I heard was European, Eurocentric, pull yourself up by your bootstraps individualism. That's all the hell I heard this morning. I wish I was there. I wish I was there. I wish I was at the Breakfast Club today with Eboni K. Williams. I had a few comments and questions for my sister.
You would have got watched just like
yes. No disrespect. I love my sister. Don't get me wrong now. And she said some good things today, but she departed from the original narrative she was pushing on our working class Africans the other day. She departed from her attack on black males with blue collar jobs. Eboni K. Williams, do you know that you got plumbers who make more money than doctors? Eboni K. Williams, do you know you got carpenters who make more money than surgeons?
I'm not going to speak on that because I'm not quite sure how true that is. That's a stretch. That is a stretch. I don't know what the hell he talking about. If I got a young man that I'm mentoring and he asking me, "Hey Anton, should I become I know that I'm going to be successful at both of these. Should I become a carpenter or a surgeon?" I'm going to tell him go ahead and become a surgeon, big dog. I'm going to tell him to go ahead and become a surgeon, big dog. That is not looking down on any carpenter. They ain't looking down on anybody doing what it is that they do. That's a stretch. And just because there's some doesn't mean that it speaks to the majority. But let's continue.
Eboni K. Williams, do you know you got chefs who make more money than engineers?
He might have to step away from his phone right now. He might have to step away from, I don't know what he's talking about right now. I have no clue what this meant, honestly. And listen, I could be like so out of touch with salaries for chefs. I could be so far out of touch with salaries and what type of engineer. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. We going off the reservation right now. We are going off the reservation right now. Let's go. Come on, man. Maybe I'm out of touch. Maybe I'm so far out of touch that Let's continue.
You got plumbers who make more money than architects. I think you got to go look at your census data, my sister.
Hold on. We ain't got to sit here and argue with this. We ain't got to sit here and argue. There's no point in arguing. Average chef salary in the United States of America is somewhere between $25,000 and $80,000. Okay. I'm not even going to add no additional parameters. I'm not going to say what type of engineer and all of that. That's a big difference. That's a big difference. That's a huge starting point and difference. The data would say different. The data on average would say a little bit different. And here's my point right here, guys. This is my point right here. You cannot lean into your feelings. You cannot lean into your feelings in order to try to justify your argument. Because if we're talking about the majority, right, then we have to then say, listen, we need to push our kids into the thing that gives them the best chance to be successful. STEM fields. STEM fields. Why wouldn't we put ourselves... Man, this is silly. This is a dumb argument. I don't even know what we're talking about right now. Let's continue. We're going to finish the video. Don't worry. We in here, Dr. Umar. We in here. We in there like swimwear.
You got to go look at your census data, my sister. You got to go look at your census data a little bit better, because I heard a whole lot of Eurocentric, pull yourself up by your bootstraps individualism. I didn't hear a single group solution on that conversation today from Sister Ebony. I didn't hear a single group solution.
No worries. We're going to do a comparison. Let's go ahead and do the... This is what y'all wanted. This is what y'all asking for. This is what y'all asking for. This is what y'all asking for. We going to get into it. All right. Y'all want to do it. What'd y'all say? Surgeon, average. Average surgeon salary, somewhere between $300 and $580 per year. That's the average salary estimate. Average salary of a surgeon is $340,000 a year. What was the other one? A plumber? Plumber. Experienced plumbers average about $95,000 a year. I don't know what we talking about. I have a friend that is literally a neurosurgeon, and I told y'all about him because I actually sit next to him at the basketball game, and this motherfucker paid off like $500,000 in student loans in a year. He paid it off the same year that he first became a surgeon. What is he talking about? Like I said, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. I'm going to read Super Chat shortly. Don't worry. I could be 1,000% off, but this is a wild conversation. This is a wild conversation.
I'm just keeping it real.
Keep it real with
I'm just keeping it real. No disrespect. I respect my sister. Very articulate, well-spoken, but I don't hear a lot of conscious energy coming from her. A lot of my middle-class, bougie black sisters, they on that individualism, Europeanism.
How come the conscious community is always broke? That's all I'm saying. How come everybody that's conscious is broke?
Peace, Baba. I'm going to get with you in a minute. I saw a lot of European individualism, brothers and sisters. Where the group solutions at? Oh, just go to college and get yourself a job and save your money from your bus job and open up a business. Where the is the group solutions at, Ebony K? Are you related to Tasha K? Where the group solutions at?
In order to be successful as a group, you have to be successful as an individual. But I digress.
Where the group? I ain't hear a single group solution out that sister's mouth this morning. Not a single group solution. A whole bunch of feminism and European individualism disguised as collective work and responsibility. You can fool some of the people all the time and all the people some of the time. You can't fool King Kong consciousness none of the time.
I'm not going for it. Honestly, I think it's just, this is all emotion. This is just all emotion, right? And so when you start to remove all of the different parameters in order to have an honest conversation, it changes the dynamic. This is all emotion talking right now.